everybody. Thanks for joining us today in learning how to paint like an Impressionist. And we're going to use a Monet painting, the one that I've done here, that I painted from a photograph that I took in the gardens of Giverny outside of France, about 50, 60 miles outside. These are the gardens that Monet moved to. In the property, he moved to it in 1883 and lived there till his death in 1926. He was born in 1840. He is, as I said, he's considered the father of Impressionism. So the Impressionists painted what they saw and felt. They were not painting like a photograph. At that time, they had photography, so they didn't have to paint realistically. So that's why Impressionism. And it was laughed at first and then accepted. Later on, it started to become acceptable. Now, what we're going to do is, if you notice, I gave you each a worksheet. But number one, we're going to base coat the canvas, mix black and green and blue. And then we're going to paint the top bushes, you can see, with shades of green. We're going to make different shades of green. And then we're going to paint the bottom half layer, different colors of blue. And you mix purple and blue. We'll go through that as we go along. And then we're going to paint the bridge at the end. And then we're going to put the flowers in at the very end, because that's the most, in the lily pads. That's the most favorite thing to do on these paintings, is to put the lily pads in. So I've got my canvas already base coated, and you're going to do 1, 2. You can, if you haven't done it yet, you can just stop the video and then continue when you're done. Okay, so we have our base coat. I base coated it dark because I thought I like to have the dark come through and the light on top of it. It just pops everything and it gives it more dimension. Now what I've done is I've gone about 2/3 down on my canvas, put a line in, and I'm going to start putting in mounds that I think would be good for the trees and the bushes to show in the back of behind the bridge. So you can just kind of sketch, kind of be a guide. It can be your guide a little bit. And when you sketch with the talk, you can look at my painting and kind of, you can use my shapes. You don't have to, you can make up your own shapes. I'm happy with that. Whatever makes you happy. And then I think I'm going to bring these bushes down a little further. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to first paint in the bushes together. And I'm going to mix. You've got your brush, so I'm going to mix some greens. And, okay. So we're going to take our green and we're going to add, see? Some yellow. Let's do a green with yellow. Here we go. Okay. So then we're just going to put some kind of feathery, nondescript strokes to get started. This is so different than watercolor. When we did our watercolors, we were kind of moving the water around. Here we're just dabbing and putting the paint on. Just kind of carefully. but no particular way, just dab it in. Next, I'm going to mix some turquoise with some green and a little bit of purple. Okay, and I'm going to put a darker shade. The shade's already there. The dark is good, but I'm just going to put some in. Okay. I think this one I'm going to go across the page rather than like curvy lines. I want to warn you something about acrylics if you don't already know, but I think a lot of you are my students already, so you understand. When you're not using a brush, you need to put it in the paint because acrylics set up really fast and let's see. There, I think you can see them. And I'm going to put some blue in that. I don't like that color, so I'm going to go back and do green. And then I'm going to put blue. And I think I can put some white in here. There we go. Another green, contrasting green next to it. And I can put some highlights on that in a little while. So just remember always to put your brush in the water in between using it. Or if you're going to change brushes. Okay, now I'm taking up yellow. I tinted this yellow with some green. And I think I'm going to make this a long narrow and kind of go over that other one that we just did. Okay. You can look for, I didn't really find a sun, like where the sun was coming from. I just kind of put shadows and lights and everything. And if you go to Giverny, you will notice the light is so amazing. And it doesn't really matter what time of day you go. Okay, now I'm going to make a green out of green and purple. Okay. And I'm going to use white. So trying to get different shades of green so that it doesn't look like everything is the same color and there's contrast. Contrast is important in acrylics, and also when you're doing Impressionism, contrast is really important because that's what makes it work. The color and the contrasting and the highlights, because you're not really painting something like it's not real. It's like a dream. It's very dreamy. Okay. And I think I'm going to put some yellow in here, yellow and green in here. And maybe I'll put some bushes down here in a lighter color. So I've got my white and my green. You see it? Sorry. It kind of doesn't matter what you do. It turns out. You just dab paint on, and that's how I do it. Just dab. Keep dabbing paint. And let's do some green with purple. Get a little darker shade in here again. There we go. Oops, sorry. So see how I'm just kind of dabbling, and I'm putting on thick paint. The thicker you can get the paint, the better. It's just you get more texture. So see, by putting the dark behind this, look what happened. the front popped up very nicely. And what else should we do? Let's mix a yellow with white and just a tinge of green. Okay, you see that? There. And now I'm going to start putting another bush in here. And this time I'll dab it horizontal. I'm not looking at my painting, but you can look at my painting for a guide. I'm just kind of putting it all in. This might turn out better than my my copy. There. Okay. So see how it's starting to come up. Now we've got a lot of work, but see how I put in details, but there. And I think I want to put a weeping willow tree in the painting. He has a lot of weeping willow trees in that garden in Giverny that are just magnificent. And I don't know about you, but I just love weeping willow trees. Okay, I've just taken a pale green, which is white and green, and added some yellow. And I think I'm going to do a weeping willow tree. I'm just going to drag my paintbrush down. Weeping willow trees kind of curve in. And, you know, you could even look at, Google a weeping willow tree to get the idea. I made a dark with purple and green, and I'm going to go put that in. Put a little more purple in the green. Okay. And weeping willow trees, you kind of can twist your brush a little. I'm going to add some white and yellow, and then I'm going to twist it to get a weeping willow effect. Can everybody see that? There. And I think I'm going to put some lights over here in the corner, almost like there's another bush over here off to the side. Okay, so I think you're getting the idea. And I have just a little bit of that dark showing through, which I kind of like. And then at the bottom, I'm going to put in some dark bushes. And let's see. I just dab this a little, get it a little more. Bring it over on this other one, the other bush. There we go. Okay, doesn't look like much, but when you go back in to start refining, that it will start looking more interesting. Let's see, I've got just plain green with a little bit of blue. Now when you're working with acrylic colors, let's see, I'm looking at my painting. First put your light color down. So let's, wait, I'll show you. Let's see, I have to show you an example. Okay, put your light color down first. Okay, let's see, let's take this light green. Can you see that? Wait, I'll do it right here. Okay. Now, let's say I want to darken that with purple, because purple kind of, it cools green off. so you don't have a real hot color. So I'm going to put just a little tiny bit in, just a little. See? Because if I took this dark purple and added green, it would get lost. So see how that's how it works. See, just watch. It's too dark for it. So you have to start with the light color and very carefully put dark colors into it, but little by little. So you don't want to have just, then you'll just end up with a very dark color. And then you'll end up having to use more paint, which is what I've done in the past. Okay, now I've got my light green, see it? With a little bit of purple. And I'm going to start putting more grasses in at the bottom of the painting. Because this is where the water is going to meet this painting. And now I'm going to put go back and put a dark green in here. I'm going to get rid of this chalk. I'm going to leave that dark spot in there. I kind of like it. And I wish I had left some more darks here, which I will do. I'm going to mix green. And I'm going to mix Payne's gray, but just black or gray, whatever you want. There. And where's my blue? Oh, that was my blue. Put a little purple in there, for good measure. Okay, so see we have a really dark green. And then I'm going to put back in some of those darks because I liked them. And it shaped my bushes nicely. See that? Can you see what I did? Okay, then I'm going to take that green and make more bushes on top of the lighter color, just kind of float it in between. I'm sorry, I keep covering this up. Okay. So that's a beginning. It's a beginning. And I'm going to I think I'm going to put some grasses in. I've got a straight edge, a square brush. I don't know that you have one, but you can just use your brush. It's okay. I think I'm going to put some grasses in here. I think I'm going to let's do yellow and let's do white. See it? And then I'm just going to pull them up. You see that? I like the way it shows up against the darker colors. Okay. I think I'm going to fix this. I'm going to put some darks into that. The way my painting is, there's darks in here. I'm going to put that underneath. Just kind of dabbing, no particular, just kind of, I'm going to make this one kind of a circle and just keep dabbing and dabbing and dabbing. There. Doesn't look like much now, but you'll play with it and refine it. Okay, let's take white. Let's take a yellow and a white. And I had a little bit of green in there, which is okay. And let's make more of defined. More defined bush here. Oops, sorry. I keep doing that. I'm sorry. There. And I think I'm going to mute that down. So, with my, there, yeah, like that. Okay. Let's put a darker green. I think I want a darker green in here. You're following mine. I'm not really following what I did. I'm just kind of winging it. I'm going to take the green and the blue, the dark blue, and I'm going to shape this. Okay, see what's happening when I started shaping it? Putting in the dark. Okay. I'm working at a real weird angle. I apologize. There. Bring some more darks up into here. Contrasting darks and lights is what works, which makes your painting more interesting and has more depth. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of pull it over that other. There. Okay. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the water. I'm putting a little bit of water on my brush because that helps the water look like water. And then I'm going to take blue. I notice in the background it's pretty light. So I'm going to put, I've got my blue. And I'm just going to add white to it. A lot of you know how to do that already. So there it is. I'm going to put a little more in. And then I have water, a little more water than I usually do on this brush, because I'm going to float this underneath. Okay. Just kind of float it under the bushes. Oh my gosh, the time is just slipping by. I'll hurry up for you. But I think if you follow this sequence that I plotted out, I think you'll be fine. And you can play with this and add to it. Acrylic's very forgiving. You can put darks on top of lights and lights on top of darks. It's not like watercolor where you have to really be careful. And you can put on as many layers as you want. See how the dark showed through? You can put on as many layers as you want for acrylics, which you can't do for watercolors. There, just kind of float it. There. Now I put a layer of green under this blue top layer. Underneath the next section, I put green. And I'm going to mix green and yellow. Now, just a little yellow. Not a lot. Can you see that? Okay. Yeah, that worked. Okay. And there's kind of it kind of looks like the water stops and there's like another step down of bushes. So I'm going to put these bushes in. Can you see that okay? There. And then I'm doing it this quickly for you. I usually do, usually we'll tighten this up and then tighten this up, but just for us, we're just gonna do this. Okay, then I need I think I'm gonna use my turquoise, which is blue and green. You can make let's make one blue and green. Blue, here we go. Green. It's coming. Need more blue. You kind of have to just feel your way through mixing colors. Just try it. Try things out. After a while, it just becomes second nature. I'm going to add a little turquoise. I actually have turquoise paint. I don't know if I told you to. Oh, yeah, I did tell you to get. I did say to use it. There. There. Okay. So now we have like a turquoise down below. And I'm just going to drag little lines of turquoise. Can you see that okay? So it's starting to kind of look like a Monet painting. And now it's up to you. And I'll tighten up one section just to give you the idea of how to do it. And then at the end, we can put in you can let this dry and then put in the bridge with your chalk. I'm going to try to paint it in just to give you the idea. Okay, I'm going to put a little green in here. That's just a plain light green. Just to make it look like there's like little pools. Okay. Now I'm going to, the next thing we're going to do is put down a little bit of green that we could pretend, kind of like pretending it's the lily pads. Okay. I'm using a light green, white and green. Can you see that? I just made it a little brighter so you can see it. This is the fun part. Okay, so you put the lily pads down, just little ovals, just little dashes, okay? And then you mix your red and your white together, okay? So you've got the red and the white. I don't have to show you that. You got it. Okay, now I mixed it together, but I didn't really totally mix it. Can you see that? Wait, I'll put it here for you. I didn't really finish mixing. I kind of left some darks in there because I'm going to make the lotus flowers here. And you just dab them. And you keep dabbing. See, it really looks like it, doesn't it? And that's what makes this, is these warm color against the cool colors. Okay. And then what I did was I went back and added more green in. And you can do that when you have time. Put a few more greens in there. Okay, so you have some dark reds. I'll put some more dark red, just dark red in there. A little contrast. And then the next thing we're going to do, and then we do the same thing down below, but I did something a little different. This part is kind of like, in its garden, there's like little steps that go down, down, down. So see, this looks like it's on a little ledge, which it actually is in the garden. And I'm going to put some darks under that ledge to kind of pop it. So I put like I put blue and green together, dark blue. You can even add a little black. I think you might have black. And see, now it pops that ledge. See that? I'm sorry, I'm working in a weird angle. But I think you're getting the idea. I'm hoping you are. There. Kind of fun, huh? Just those darks, just a little bit of darks changed it, didn't it? And then I'm going to put in the lily pads down below in a light green, just white and green, little dashes. And I didn't put a lot in. And I'll show you how to get, okay? So see how that's all coming together? And then now I'm going to put a dark green, green or black or green and blue you can add together. And make it like shadows under those lily pads. Okay. Now I put a real light turquoise. So you mix blue and green. And when you color the color that you get, that you like, and then I added white. Here, I'll show you. See the white coming in? And then I made it kind of like a little pond even down here, like a little extra pond. See what happens? It kind of perks it. It draws your eye actually to the front of the picture. So you want people, when you paint with acrylics, Impressionism, you want their eye to move around. So we're starting here and then we can move up into here. Just kind of moving your eye around and then back down here. Okay? Now this needs more layers, but we don't have time, but I think I'm gonna put some purple down below because there's another step in here, like another ledge. And that defined that little pond, miniature little area. Okay? And then the thing that really makes it is when you start putting in more of the lotus flowers. That really helps. See? Just little dabs, no big deal. Free and easy. Okay? So I'm gonna tighten up one of the trees in the back just so that we didn't put the bushes in, did we? Put a few bushes here. Gotta do the bushes. Are you keeping up with me? There, it's better. There. I'm gonna extend this bush, this little tree down there. Okay, now I'm gonna try to tighten this up for you. Let's see if I can have time, but so we're gonna put, can you see that? It's starting to shape. Do a little better shape. And then I'm going to put in some highlights, yellow and white, and a touch of green. Just a touch of green. Okay. Then I'm going to go back and put a green back in. I still have yellow on my brush, so that will work. So I've got 3 different colors right now on that, 3 different greens on that tree. Okay, so I think that's all we have time for. Let me see if I can put the bridge in for you. I think you can do that yourselves. It's just a curve. I can't, it's hard to do it the angle I'm at, and I don't want to chalk it because this is still wet. The chalk won't work there. Now you gotta like straighten it out. But first I put the top on, okay, and then I put the bottom. And I can tighten this up later. And then I like to do just a little part of the bridge. Then I like to go and put bushes in front of the sides of the bridge. So let's do that now. I just used yellow and green. I'm going to use a little purple. So you don't have to see me even do that. I know you know how to do that. There. There we go. See the bushes coming in. And I might curve them. Curve your brush. I love the way he put the bushes like down there. There's bushes in the little pond. It's actually a pretty good sized pond, actually. He's got several ponds all through the properties. So there. Put these grasses in there. Okay, so now we got that much done, and you can start putting darks and lights, tightening it up as you copy my other painting. Let's see. I'm going to start defining. See how I put the dark? I used like a green blue. Kept it pretty dark. It's hard to paint from this, but I think you got the idea. And got the idea. Okay, so let's see if it looks like my painting, my original. It doesn't yet. It probably needs another afternoon of work, but it's just beginning. Okay? And thanks a lot for joining me today, and have a good rest of the day, and happy painting.